Hey, I'm Adam Jusko, and this is Adam Answers, where we answer the burning and not so burning questions of the day. In this video, the Amazon Halo Fitness Band. We are going to take a look at it, do a little review, a little unboxing, talk about what it offers, whether it is worth the price or not. But before we do that, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not already. And if you have already, I thank you for doing so. So the Amazon Halo Band, Fitness Band, is this band right here. As you can see, there's no watch face with this band. So really what it is a band you wear on your wrist, and it tracks various activities you do, activities when you are moving around, as well as activities when you are not moving around, whether that's being sedentary or whether that is sleeping. So we'll talk about what all those activities are, and then you get tracked, and then you can check how you did sort of through the Amazon Halo app. Amazon Halo Fitness Band, normal price $99.99. I have seen it on sale for $74.99 in the past. I actually got it for $64.99 myself as sort of an early bird. When you buy it, regardless of what price you pay, you get 6 months of all the features of the band, and then after that 6 months, if you want to keep all of the features that it offers, you are going to pay $3.99 per month, which we can roughly say is $48 per year. So there are certain things that you get for free all the time, and then there are certain things that are going to go away after 6 months if you don't continue to pay, and we'll talk about what those are. So there's not a whole lot in the Amazon Halo box. You get the fitness band itself, and then you also get this charger that has sort of this alligator-y looking mouth here with a USB connector on the other end. So that is how you charge it. It is not necessarily the easiest thing to get charged and get going at first. At least it wasn't for me. So you not only have this, you charge up the band itself, but then what you're going to do is essentially download the information that is on the band to the Amazon Halo app. Now, I downloaded the Amazon Halo app to the Apple iPhone 12, and getting this to sync with my iPhone took a while. So if you are someone that buys this and you are having trouble, know that you are not alone. I eventually did get it to work, and there hasn't been any trouble since. So the Amazon Halo has a lot of different features, but there are two in particular that I think are the most interesting to the most people, so we'll start there. Number one is the activity tracker, and this is counting your steps at the most basic level, but then it is also giving you more points for more vigorous activity, fewer points for less vigorous activity, and actually subtracting points if you are sedentary altogether. And then what it does is it gives you a sort of score based on all of these things, and you have a goal for the week that you can sort of compare yourself to see if you are doing what the Amazon Halo at least thinks that you should be doing as a bare minimum. But then of course you could also track over time how you are doing from week to week to see whether you are sort of upping the activity or not. Number two is the activity tracker. You're going to wear the Amazon Halo to bed, and it is going to track your sleep cycle. How long did it take you to fall asleep? How long were you in the bed in total? How much of that time was spent actually asleep? How much of that sleep was light sleep? How much of it was deep sleep? How much of it was REM sleep? How many times were you interrupted in the night and you woke up completely? All of these things will get rolled together, and you will get a nightly sleep score, so you can see how you did with your sleep. Now, to some extent, you probably know how you're doing with your sleep in terms of how you feel in the morning, but knowing this sleep score could be something helpful. Now, how they know exactly when you're in light sleep versus deep sleep versus REM sleep, I'm a little confused about. Now, I see how the interruptions could work, because if you're, moving the arm around a lot, well, then obviously you're not asleep, and maybe there's some heart rate calculations that go in there to try to figure out, which stage of sleep you're in. But how accurate that really is somewhat questionable. Still kind of fun to see, and maybe if you did it over time, you could see if you felt like what it was telling you in terms of whether your sleep was good or bad correlated to how you actually feel each day when you're awake. Now, one of the other features with the Amazon Halo that I think is kind of cool and some other people think is kind of creepy, which I don't totally understand because no one's forcing you to do it, is this body composition, body fat percentage sort of app that it has. So what you do, and it really has nothing to do with the band itself, this is really through the app. They'll take pictures of your body. Basically, you get down to your underwear, or you could have shorts on, whatever, but I think the more of your body that can be seen, the better, calculations can be made. And you have pictures taken of you in, various, I don't want to say poses, but you go, front, then you go to the side, and then you go to the other side, that kind of thing. So it can see your overall body and then do a estimation of your body fat, your body composition. Now, I think this is pretty interesting because if you're someone that is trying to get in shape, obviously losing weight is one aspect of getting in shape, but the other thing is, are you just losing muscle, or are you, actually working off some of the fat as you lose weight? So that body composition, body fat app or feature on the app could be something that you really find helpful. Now, some people don't like the idea of taking pictures of themselves in almost no clothes and having them, go up into the cloud and having Amazon potentially having their photos. Amazon says basically they use it long enough to give you your results and then it all disappears. No one's forcing you to use it, but I think it is pretty interesting. And then there are two other major features of the Amazon Halo and the Amazon Halo app, at least as Amazon is concerned, they're major features. They're things that I think are of very questionable value. The first of them is called Labs, and then the second is Tone. So Labs is a number of things to sort of try to get you to either work out more or to make your sleep better or whatever, so that, your activity is better and that your sleep is better. So you have various workouts that you can access, or you have, meditations and all that kind of stuff that you can access that is for free. But to me, the quality is fine. You could get these things, a lot of them, somewhere else as well, depending on what device you're actually working with. I don't know how many people do a workout straight out of their phone, so you would have to sort of, be using some of these labs on something with a larger screen also. So the labs are fine, but easy enough to find this kind of content, I think, other places on the internet. Nice to bring it all together, but not that big a deal as far as I'm concerned. And then there is Tone, and I don't know who managed to convince Amazon that this was a good feature of the band. It is not. And if the band could hear me right now, it would tell you that my tone is not very good, but I have the microphone turned off, so it cannot. So the way Tone works is there's a microphone on the band, and you can turn that microphone on, and it will gauge your sort of attitude throughout the day and the way your tone might be affecting others that you are talking to. So it might, show whether you are being positive, whether you're being negative, whether your voice suggests you are just sort of being neutral. And this can give you some feedback, supposedly, as to whether you're sort of making a positive or negative impression. Now, I don't understand how they believe that they really are giving you much feedback on your tone, because think of all the different ways we talk throughout the day, and without understanding the meaning of what we're saying, but only understanding sort of the tone that it comes out in, you don't really know why you're using a particular tone. So yeah, you could be upbeat all the time and be saying terrible things, or your voice could sound very neutral, but you could be saying, the kindest, most beautiful things in the world. So I don't know that your tone really is going to do a whole lot for you, and having that microphone on all the time, tracking what you say, or being able to at least listen to what you say, is something that does feel a little creepy. I did it for about 10 minutes. For the most part, it told me that my tone was neutral, and then I turned it off. Right now, I would say that my tone is negative. Now, if you're thinking of getting the Amazon Halo, there are sort of two considerations, I would say, whether it is going to be worth it for you. The first one, and this is going to be true of any sort of fitness band like this, the Amazon Halo, Fitbits, and competitors in this space, is, are you going to use it? The Amazon Halo kind of lasts a long time on a charge. I had, get multiple days on it, but at one point I took it off, put it on the charger, and then I forgot about it for like 4 days. And then I take it off when I wash dishes or when I take a shower. Sometimes I remember to put it back on. Sometimes it sits around and then I'm not even quite sure where it is. And so you have to be somewhat committed to keeping the band on as much as possible if you want to have your fitness tracked, if you want to have your sleep tracked. And then the second question is, are you going to pay $3.99 per month to keep all of the Amazon Halo Band features after that first 6 months that you got for free? If you cancel, you'll still have these sort of rudimentary features, which means they will still have a step tracker, so you'll know how many steps you took, but there no longer will be this activity score that shows whether they were vigorous steps or light steps or, you know, sedentary or that kind of thing. So you're going to lose the activity score. You're just going to have plain steps counted. Same thing on the sleep side. You'll still have a sleep tracker in terms of, you know, how many hours you slept that night, but you're no longer going to have this, you know, idea of the deep sleep versus the REM sleep versus the light sleep and how many times you're interrupted and all that kind of stuff. No more sleep score if you don't pay the $3.99 per month. You'll also lose that body composition feature if that is interesting to you. You will lose the tone feature, which, you know, as far as I'm concerned, good riddance. The labs are going to be more limited, and I don't really know, to be honest with you, what that means, but there are going to be fewer of those labs. So if you're someone that does like that feature, when you get the tracker, it's going to go away, or at least a lot of it is going to go away if you don't continue to pay. So for me, I could see a lot of people sort of getting addicted to that activity tracker and that sleep tracker and being willing to pay that $3.99 per month, which is essentially $48 per year, but that's kind of a lot. So you have to decide really if it is something that you are going to continue to do, again, if you're going to be committed to it, and whether that is really doing anything for you or you just really like looking at it. Now, if you just want to know how many steps and how much sleep, you don't have to pay it, and you'll have only paid, you know, sort of the initial amount to get the Amazon Halo to begin with. Now, the nice thing is if you buy the Amazon Halo, you get 6 months to decide whether you really like those features enough to continue paying for them. And if you don't like them, you still have the band, you still have that basic tracking. So it is nice to have a little sort of trial period there to decide whether it is worth it to pay for it on an ongoing basis. Myself, I don't see me paying $3.99 a month going forward for those trackers, but if you are really committed to knowing about your activity and you're committed to having better sleep, which obviously is an important thing, well then maybe that would be worth it to you. That's it for this video. Questions, comments, put them in the comment section below. Otherwise, thanks for watching and we'll see you again soon.